Why, hello there. How's everyone doing? I'm doing great myself, thank you for asking. You did ask, right? So for today's English lesson, we are going to focus on IELTS. Now who here loves IELTS? Raise your hands. Come on. I know you love it. You love IELTS? You love IELTS? Everybody loves My apologies. I just get so excited sometimes I just can't contain myself. But yes, today's topic of focus is IELTS, specifically part 2 of the speaking. So with that being said, class is now in session. So for part 2 of the IELTS speaking test, you're graded on 4 criteria, which are fluency and coherence, lexical resources, grammatical range, and accuracy. And lastly, pronunciation. With these in mind, it is advisable to incorporate all of these into your practices. That way you'll get the score that you're trying to aim for. Moving along, I will be breaking this lesson down into 2 parts. For the first part, I am going to give the topic and then I will respond to it in the 2-minute time frame. I feel like I've been doing this a lot in this video. 1, 2. And for the second part, I will then break it down by explaining the questions that were asked, the answers that were given, as well as the sentences and structures that I used. It'll probably make more sense once we get to that section. With that, everyone gather around while I tell the story. Sorry, I forgot the topic. The topic is, describe a toy that you received when you were a child. You just say what the toy was, who gave it to you, how you used it, and how you felt when you received the toy. Now we can jump into the speech. I just wanted to say I wrote this example from a female perspective, which is why I'm using Barbie as a toy receipt. When I was younger, like any other schoolgirls, I had invariably yearned for a Barbie doll. At the time, Barbie was one of the top trending toys and particularly expensive. Due to this predicament, I doubtlessly concluded that it would be unaffordable for my parents. However, to my surprise, on my 9th birthday, my parents gifted me a multicolored box in which I gazed at the limited edition Superstar Barbie, adorned in a quintessential sequin dress and pink guitar. This version of Barbie was manufactured out of elastic plastic material, which meant she was completely malleable, contorting into postures that ordinary brands could not, such as crossed arms or erected with her hands on her hips. She could even grip a microphone or guitar in her petite hands. At that moment, I was speechless because it was beyond my wildest dreams, and I just wanted to shout to the world due to elation. To a pretty adolescent girl, playing pretend with a doll in an imaginary realm of her conception is a wondrous adventure. I loved Barbie because her message was so inspiring for girls as it spurred them to aspire to become anything they set their minds to and to follow their dreams endlessly. Although I've ceased playing with Barbie when I transitioned into an adolescent, I kept my beloved Barbie, beautiful and pristine, within my closet. Shortly after, I passed it down to my younger sister, who then relinquished it to my niece. Barbie will forever be the most valuable present collected that prompts nostalgia of my childhood. That took a lot of takes. Okay, now that the speech is delivered, let's break it down. So to make things a little easier, I am going to display the chart and I will talk it over. Rather than me standing here and talking and moving a lot, I figured that it'd be much easier if I just show the chart and just run it through. That way you won't be as distracted and you can follow much more clearly. It's okay, I'll come back. So here you can see that I divided the chart into 3 categories: questions, answers, and structures and sentences. Now moving to the questions side of the column, you can see that I split it up into 3 sections as well. And those are the opening, the body, and the conclusion. So let's focus on the opening, in where I answer the question, what the toy was. As you can see, I replied that the toy was a Barbie doll, but I also go into specifics explaining how it was the top trending toy at that time, and because of that, it was expensive and thus unaffordable for my parents.
So next we'll move on to the body. Who gave it to you and when? Well, I said that my parents were the ones that gifted me the present. And it was during my 9th birthday, in which they surprised me with it. And I'll answer, how was the toy? The appearance, as well as what materials was it made out of. I described it as a multicolored box, and it was the limited edition Superstar Barbie, wearing her sequin dress, and made out of elastic plastic material. So now we move on to how I felt when I received the toy. And I said, I was speechless, elated, as well as inspired. I felt that it was beyond my wildest dreams, and I just wanted to shout to the world. And lastly, we move on to the conclusion. I said that as I grew older, I stopped playing with Barbie and I passed it down to my younger sister. Even though I gave her away, Barbie will always be the most valuable present I've ever received. And every time I see her, it just brings back memories of my childhood. I just want to apologize for the very janky recording. I'm recording through my phone, so it sounds really bad. But yeah, that concludes the first part of this video. Because it's so long, I didn't want to put it all in one video, so that's why I split it up in 2 parts. So for the second part of the video, which I'll release, I'll be explaining all the wonderful vocabulary you've been hearing, as well as the idioms. So stay tuned for that. You're gonna love it. Trust me. See you in the next one.